Hello, bone lovers! Welcome to another episode of Make Science Cool Again. My name is Natasha. I'm PhD in physical anthropology, and this is Radosh, the archaeodog. So, in today's episode, we're going to talk about application of 3D printing in archaeology and bioarchaeology. So, as you probably know from everyday's life, 3D printing is relatively new technique that became quite popular as it presents quite good replicas and cheap material, basically plastic that can be also like recyclable plastic or reutilized plastic that can be used in making replicas and different kind of objects. So in the case of archaeology or bioarchaeology, it's resolving a lot of practical and ethical issues. And as you probably know, ethics in bioarchaeology is very, very complex and a very complex topic that is making a lot of debates recently. So that's why we dedicated the entire class of mortuary archaeology talking only about ethical issues. So in this way, like as many people don't feel very comfortable about working with real skeletons or seeing skeletons in real skeletons in museums. So this can be one of the possibilities that they won't have all the same kind of unpleasant feelings if they're looking in very good, very precisely made replica. And so in a way, it can be one of the solutions how to avoid these problems. And on the other hand, we also have this is very easy for some practical issues. For example, if we have some very valuable remains and we don't want to damage them by using them all the time, we can use this good in the same size and very well done plastic replicas, and in this way we can use it as didactic material without any risk of damaging it. We can manipulate it with it in a perfect way. Also for traveling, if we decide we want to go to conference and we want to show our findings, and of course in some ways the photo is just not enough because having the 3D object is completely different than of course seeing something in the photos, even if the photos are from various angles. So it's, of course, you cannot just put the skull in a bag and be like, oh, I'm going to conference. You might have a quite weird situation on the airports, obviously. So in this way it can make traveling easier, so you're not risking any damage. If we are talking about some very valuable findings that like one of the kind, you don't have these problems that it might be disappear or somehow to be additionally damaged. And of course you can make unlimited number of copies, which is making it also very good for teaching. So like every university, if we talk about one of the kind that is finding, like unique finding, so every university or investigation center can have one of those. So here I have two pieces of bones that are representing like good candidates for 3D printing, and these are findings that are quite rare and unique, and I would like to keep them as a copy of them. But in the same time, I don't want to, I want as many people as possible to see it, to hold it, to see it from different angles, but I don't want to risk them being damaged. So the first one is a very nice example of artificially deformed skull. We will talk about that custom later. But for the moment you can see that this is just not a normal skull. We can see it's extremely long, but at the same time it's really well preserved. So present excellent material for teaching, and also it could be really nice example in some museum, because those findings are extremely rare, especially in Europe. There are more of them, of course, in Africa and South America, but here in Europe especially those ones from this period of great migration. They are, I don't know, like maybe just few hundreds in the whole Europe, maybe even less. And the other finding is it's osseous bridging of lumbar transverse process. So this is a congenital disease. As you can see, we have here this forming, those transverse processes are forming kind of handle. And this is very rare congenital condition, and in fact in clinical descriptions there are only like 11 cases. In paleopathological literature there are none, so it represents extremely important case and well, very unique. So of course I'm interested in showing this to as many people as possible, but in the same time, as you can see, it's already a little bit damaged post-mortem, and I don't want to risk any more damage to this. So I contacted some wonderful people from the Center for Promotion of Science, and we'll see if they can help us and make some good 3D print copies. Hello, Philip. Can you please tell me where we are right now and what are those things behind you?
So we are at the Center for the Promotion of Science, based in Belgrade, in the makerspace of the Center for the Promotion of Science, which is an open space for people to come and work on their projects. We also have 3D printers. Those are the things that buzz behind me. And they are used to make all kind of models, from the technical things like gearboxes and stuff that have practical purpose to the more aesthetically pleasing stuff like vases or something like that. But it's not uncommon to get 3D scans of stuff, like in this situation here, when we have to make true to scale representation of object that's scanned. For example, and also people think that 3D printing is like distant future stuff or something like that, but it's common practice, and the entry price for the hobbyists that want to start with 3D printing is extremely low, 200 to 300 euros for the basic models such as we have here.
Okay, so you helped me a lot with the skull that I had. Was that your the first time that you're printing real skull?
Yes, I printed a few models that I got on the internet, but they're not true to scale, or I guess they're not medically correct. But yes, your skull that you brought here is the first real one that I had in my hands that I had the opportunity to scan and to print. And yeah, it came up really nice, and the most fascinating thing is that it's true to scale. Every little stitch and even the teeth are the exact same size as the original, and it can be used as the representation of the real thing. The first thing, you need to have a model, either scanned or the pre-made one, and then bring that model to the slicer, which is the program that runs the printers. Slicer will tell you how much plastic you need and how much time you need to make the model, and you just plug it in and press start. It's really simple. A few YouTube tutorials can teach anybody how to use 3D printers.
And this process of scanning, is it something complicated?
It is, and it can be time consuming, and with the organic things, like here you have lots of spaces and little creases and stuff like that, and you need to have a plane on which your object stands. So in order to have the perfect 3D scan, you need to move object from side to side to get it from all sides, and the method of stitching those parts together can be time consuming. But if you have a really nice pre-made scan, it can be much more fast.
And how much does it take for printing? once when you have a model?
Well, for the model this size, about 33 hours. It's but you don't need to do anything. You just press play and wait for the printer to finish the print.
And what would be some approximate price for such a skull like that?
Well, filaments that we use, yes, and these are the filament-based printers. They use like a thread of plastic, and a kilo of that filament costs around 20 to 30 euros. And with 1 kilo you can make 3 skulls like this.
Right.
It's really affordable, and when you take in the account that the printers themselves cost around 200, 300 euros, almost everybody can start 3D printing immediately.
So do you think it's a future of anthropology and archaeology?
Well, it's yeah, why not? Bones are fragile, and I guess that they're easy to break, and the humidity affects them, and if you need to travel with them, it's much more, it's safer to have a plastic model with you than the real thing. So yeah, I can see how it can be used in the future of the archaeology.
So as you've seen, 3D printing presents a good solution for all kind of things that we need to, like all kind of replicas. It's very realistic, and especially if you put some extra effort in coloring it, it's very affordable, it's quick to make, and you can do it even at your home if you have 3D printer or any center, not necessarily for promotion of science, but many places now have 3D printers, so it doesn't require any special technology, and it's quite easy to do it. So it's another good tool that we can use for many situations, and it can give us a lot of good results also for museums, expositions, teaching, and similar. Okay, so that would be all for today, and hopefully see very soon. Bye bye.